guys and less girls, but they can make more noise than we can, see? Yeah. Okay, now it's really important. The colonel isn't in quite as big windbag as I am. He doesn't have quite as much volume as I do, and you're going to want to hear what he has to say. And there's going to be a time for questions. When he gets done, there's going to be a time for questions. And when you raise your hand for a question, he'll point to you, but if everybody starts shouting out a question at the same time, he's not going to be able to hear which question it is, all right? So he'll take some questions, and he loves to answer them. He's an expert at this. He was right there in the war. So I'm going to bring the colonel over here, and you're going to have to be real quiet so you can hear him, okay? All right, and he'll introduce his horse. Actually, that's a camel. You see the two humps on it? That's a two-hump camel. You don't believe me, do you? No. Oh, okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, students, teachers.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mosby, Colonel John Singleton Mosby, Commanding Officer, 43rd Battalion, Virginia Cavalry, Army of Northern Virginia, General Robert E. Lee commanding. My role during this current struggle for Southern independence is to disrupt Union communications and supply lines. I am also responsible for harassing Yankee troops. Now, during this struggle, my battalion, which was created on January the 9th, 1863, has been dubbed Mosby's Rangers. As a matter of fact, President Lincoln of the Yankee government has dubbed me the Gray Ghost. And I will tell you why he has dubbed me the Gray Ghost. When I was a lowly captain, my first mission was to try and abscond with a Union officer by the name of Colonel Percy Wyndham. Now, this gentleman had come from Britain to fight the Southern rebels. Now, early on, when this battalion was created, we were abducting his pickets and harassing his 9th New York Cavalry. Now, I did not like Colonel Wyndham calling me a bushwhacker, a guerrilla. As I told Colonel Wyndham, I am not a guerrilla. I am not 400 pounds or covered with hair. And Colonel Wyndham took affront to this. So I decided one night in early March to go and pay Colonel Wyndham a visit. Well, on this visit, we discover we ride into his headquarters through 5,000 of his troops that he was not in residence. But we heard that there was a general there by the name of Staunton. Well, I decided to pay a visit to General Staunton. Now, when I got to the general's house, I walked in and was met by his adjutant, who I convinced, using my persuader, that the general should come with us. Now, it's been said that I spanked the general with my saber. This is not true. I used my gauntlet, or my club. Now, the general was not very happy with seeing me. Neither was 38 members of his staff, nor 60 of his horses, who accompanied us back behind our own lines. Now, the general was also friends with Colonel Fitzhugh Lee, who was a West Point associate of his. And actually, I kind of lied to the general. I told him that my cavalry had the entire place surrounded. Of course, he believed this. He didn't know what to do at the time. Well, he accompanied us, and I took him back. And at the time, President Lincoln called in his generals and asked them what they thought of my goings-on. And after talking to the generals, Mr. Lincoln said, "Man, you gentlemen talk as if this gentleman was a ghost, a gray ghost." I like the term. The Yankee press dubbed me the Gray Ghost of the Confederacy. So, since President Lincoln named me this, I wrote him a thank you note. And in this thank you note, I enclosed a lock of my hair, and I told the president that someday I shall come to claim this. Well, Mr. Lincoln, being the gentleman that he is, wrote back to me and enclosed a lock of his hair and informed me that that was the only part of him I would ever have in my possession. Beginning on that very night, all the bridges across the Potomac River, all the plankings were pulled up. Well, Mr. Lincoln notified me of this, and I said, sir, as you know, most of my horses and equipment are supplied by you and your government, and I'm sure you have taught your horses to swim. Of course, he was right. My horses can do the river. Now, Oreo is not a horse. Would anybody like to tell me what he is? No? Go ahead. No? No? Oreo in the military is a mount. There are no horses in the military. They are called mounts. Now, Oreo is a Confederate trained war horse, aren't you, Meg? He is trained to listen to not only my verbal commands, but my hand signals and foot signals. Now, part of our equipment that it sits on Oreo, in here is my haversack. Now, here's my coffee cup. Inside this haversack, I would carry food for myself. I would always and also carry my personal gear, such as my shaving equipment. I would have a sewing kit in here. I have other types of personal items. In my saddlebags, I would carry food for him. As you know, a cavalryman is not a cavalryman without a mount. Do you know what happens when a cavalryman loses his mount? He becomes infantry. I am not a foot soldier. I am infantry. Now, my weapons would include this 1858 Sharps carbine, captured from the Yankees. It was manufactured in Connecticut. My sidearm is a Colt 44, also manufactured in Connecticut. My light cavalry saber is 3.5 feet long. Now, as anybody can tell you, I am not a fan of sabers, because a saber is only 3 feet long, and if you are an enemy soldier within 3 feet of me, you are too close. I can get hurt. I do not like to be hurt. During this current struggle, I will be wounded 3 times, including having my one horse shot out from under me, and I broke my foot. Now, Oreo is currently saddled with an 1858 McClellan. This saddle was designed not for the comfort of the rider, but for the comfort of the horse. Now, I also have a wooden drum canteen, which is where I would carry my water. I carry a 25-foot static line, where when I post at night, I would find 2 trees, run this line between the trees, and tie him to that line where he could exercise himself by walking up and down while I slept. Now, unbeknownst, we did not have dogs in our command. These are our watch animals right here. Now, do I have any questions so far? Yes, young man.
Do you have any idea that the Union would defeat you?
What's that now?
Do you have any idea that the Union would defeat you?
No, I do not. As a matter of fact, my battalion has never surrendered and will never surrender as long as I am in command. Yes, sir.
How would your horse wake you up?
How would my horse make me up? Snort and make a little noise, and he might whinny. But the thing is, I would also have a line attached to him, attached to my wrist, that when he would jerk up, my hand would come up and I would be awake. And I'm not a very heavy sleeper. You see, yes, young man. Can I do a trick with him? He is really not trained to be a trick horse. He is trained in cavalry tactics. That would be nice to do, but when you train a horse, you train him in one style, either Western, English, or cavalry. I am trained in cavalry. As a matter of fact, he is the only purely trained cavalry horse in the entire United States. Yes, sir. Was it hard to train him? No. Actually, it was kind of easy. He's a very intelligent horse. I was lucky to get him when I did. And generally, after I show him 2 or 3 times, he has picked up what he's supposed to do. Yes, sir.
How long have you had him?
2.5 years. All right. Now, cavalry troops have quiet hand signals. Now, when I'm riding him and I want him to go left or right, basically my hand would rest here. And all I do is tug. Whichever way I want to go, and his head will go that way, and that's the way he goes. Now, in combat, what I would do is I would take these reins and put them into my teeth. Normally I have 6 Colt revolvers with me. I have one on each hip. I would have one on each side of my front saddle and one on each side of my back saddle. And when I would run out of ammunition in the one, rest. When I would have run out of ammunition in one pistol, I would put that away and go to another one. Any other questions?
How long did it take you to train him?
Train him, he's still training. Training never stops with a horse. There's all kinds of things that he can learn. And half the fun of working with a horse like this is teaching him new things. He's 10 years old.
Can you take a gun out of the side of it?
Sure. Now this is an 1858 Colt 6-shot revolver. This would have been made in Hartford, Connecticut.
Why do you believe in slavery?
I do not believe in slavery.
Then why are you fighting with the Confederates?
For Southern independence and states' determination. I do believe in the Constitution, which states that each state and each individual has the right of self-determination.
The other than this over there, they look just like that but longer.
No. The Colt is a 6-shot. The Sharps is a single-shot rifle. Now, normally an infantryman in his 58 caliber Enfield can only fire 3 rounds a minute. With this, I can fire up to 6, and I have an accuracy of 500 yards. Was I really? That would make me 167 years old. No, I don't think so. Well, Mosby was noted for utilizing every piece of equipment he could get. As a matter of fact, it was jokingly said that if I could figure out how to mount a cannon on the back of my horse's butt, I'd have one on the back of my butt. No, my dad was in World War II. Now, my great-great-great-uncle, Major General John F. Reynolds, was the first Union general killed at the Battle of Gettysburg. He was on the opposite side of what I'm fighting for. But that is family, brother against brother, nephew against uncle. That's just a display. No, I do not. I'm not permitted. I'm not comfortable. Yes, these are very real guns. They are actually working models. No, a saber is not sharp. A saber is generally used for breaking bones and knocking you out of the saddle. Once you dismount a cavalry trooper from the saddle, you have effectively taken him out of the action. The what? It's a saber. Yes, I can. As a matter of fact, can I pass this around? Yeah. Okay, guys. We'll just lay them up here. We just go over and look at them later. Okay, this is a saber. Now, if I would use the saber, what I would do when I would go into combat is I would take this strap, put that through my hand, and then do this. That way, if it's knocked out, it's still there where I can grab it and use it again. Yes, sir. What battles? Miskell Farm. I'll tell you about the Great Greenback Raid. In the spring of 1864, a few of my men and I were out on a little mission. And we had one of our cannons with us, which was a 12-pound mountain howitzer. And one of our favorite tactics would be station the cannon around the bend. And when a train would come, we'd fire the cannon at the boiler of the locomotive, knocking it off its track. Well, the one night we did this to a train. Come to find out, there were 2 Yankee paymasters carrying $183,000 on them. Of course, that quickly became our property. On this train was also a young Prussian military officer. And if you know anything about European military officers, they were in the fancy uniform. So he was brought over by some of my men to me and introduced. And I asked the young man what he was doing. And he said he came to join General Grant's staff to learn about war. At which time my men disrobed him. And he kindly looked at me and said, "What are your men doing?" And I told him, well, you came to learn about war. You have just experienced lesson number 1. To the victor belong the spoils. Also on this train was a car full of German immigrants just new to our country that spoke no English. Now, our philosophy was when we captured a train, we took all military supplies off the train and burned it. Well, these Germans refused to get off the car. So I was asked what my men should do. And I said, well, we'll put the torch to it and see if they understand the language of fire. No sooner had my men entered the the railroad car and seen the Germans saw the fire and torches in their hand that they quickly left the train. So they did understand the language of fire.
Are you fighting on the north or south?
I'm the South.
How did Oreo get its name?
What's that?
How did Oreo get its name?
Oreo? Well, before I purchased him, he was named Oreo. And that's because they think he looks like the cookie with the markings on his backside.
Everyone in the cockpit, they have the same uniform?
In my command, yes, they wear gray. No, we take him with us.
Have you ever had the will to kill somebody?
Well, I'm a Vietnam veteran, so yes, I've been in that position.
Have you ever close to your gun?
What's that?
Have you ever close to your gun?
44 caliber. They're about the size of a dime. Sherman? No, I was in Virginia. Sherman was in Georgia. What's that?
U.S.
I might carry a 36 caliber Colt. There was a Remington revolver. There was many, many different types of weapons in the Civil War.
Where did you get your gun?
Where did I get off some Yankees?
How often do you have to change the horses?
Well, when we're on the road like this, about every 4 to 6 weeks.
Are those boots from back then?
No, these boots are rubber boots. The boots I wore when I came to town were a little destroyed, so they're being repaired in the city, and then I'll pick them up tonight. But these were loaners to me until my boots are repaired. We've already done 125. We're doing 1,250 miles for charity, and we've done 125. Most of that I've walked because I'm conditioning my fellow. No, other than what you see on me, no, I do not.
Why don't you, like, burn all that old stuff? Yeah, that's a good.
Why don't I burn it? Because this saddle is probably worth more than the horse and I together. This saddle was made in 1858, was actually in the war. That's a very prized and valuable antique.
Did you have more of a chance surviving on a horse or on foot?
Well, in my battalion, I normally had between approximately 20 to 30 men with me, and of that, 50% usually were casualties, either killed, wounded, or missing. So it was all in the luck of the draw whether they were wounded or killed.
Is anyone else in your family in the war?
In the Civil War, yes, being from Pennsylvania, most of my family was in the war. As a matter of fact, in every war this country has fought, from the American Revolution down, there has been a member of my family fighting for the cause. During the course of the Civil War, approximately 3,000 horses were killed. I've been wounded 3 times. One time I had a horse fall on my foot, broke my foot. I was shot in the arm and I was shot in the groin. Now here's something funny. Before the war, I only had 3 children. After I was wounded and shot in the groin, I had 6 more. Go figure. Yes, yes.
What did you say?
I cannot hear him, please.
That hurt.
of operations was here in Loudoun, Virginia, 2 counties which are directly across the river, the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. Yes? I have 64 more horses at home.
Okay, you wear a wool.
No, that was not invented. Yes. This is my main horse. Do I ride him? Yes, I do. Sure. You want me to ride? Wait. Then you can all move over here and we'll do some things out here.
Wait, Pepper.
No, not him. Yes, I've fallen off some other horses. Yes, I have.
Oh, man.
But they generally know who I am and they understand. Basically, they just want to come up and meet me and talk to me and see my weapons. Can he run at full speed? He can go between 25 and 30 miles an hour.
Can you race with the cars out there?
What?
Can you race with the cars out there?
Why would I? Can he jump? Yes, he can. We started in Wolcott, Connecticut. Right now we're headed to Richmond, Virginia, at which time we were going to President Jefferson Davis in the Confederate White House in Richmond, and then we would turn around and come home. Wolcott, Connecticut. Yes? Well, there's Dolly Richards. There was a gentleman by the name of Edward Big Yankee Ames, who was in that 9th New York Cavalry that came over to my side after Lincoln freed the slaves.
The reason why the Union is fighting you is just because of your slavery?
Wow. In the beginning of the war, President Lincoln, in his speech of nomination, said, "I did not become president to free the slaves." That was not his objection or his priority. And as a matter of fact, when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, he did not free all the slaves. He only freed the slaves behind the Confederate lines.
Yes, that's right.
Huh?
Said that you were talking about. You want to keep your slaves, but the Union doesn't want you to keep your slaves. And so pretty much the main reason between this war is the slaves.
No, we're fighting for self-determination. We want the right to say what happens in our own state. We do not believe in a strong central government. We believe in states' rights.
What is the reason why you're collecting for charity?
Well, the one is the Waterbury Palace Foundation. We have a theater that was built in 1864 that we're trying to restore to its present, to the grade it once was. I am also trying to raise money. Him and I want to start a mounted search and rescue team.
Are all your horses trained like that?
No, we have English, we have Western, we have dressage. But he's the only trained cavalry horse we have. There was what? There was people from all nationalities involved in our war. What's that? That is the color of the Confederate uniform. It's either gray or what's called butternut, which is a light shade of brown. No. He's a very well taken care of horse. Yes. Yes, we could, but I won't.
Okay, guys, let's make your questions important here. There's only a couple more.
Is that uniform the ones that men wore in the...
It's an exact replica of what Colonel Mosby wore at the time of the war. Now, what's that now? This is where I would hang my saber. If I was going to a dance, I would put my saber on my hip, put it on there, and I would carry it in this hand. It's just for dress to hang the saber.
Okay,
How many horses have you had that have been killed?
Please, I don't talk about my horses that are died. How many colonels were there? Approximately 5,000. That was over a 2-year period. I normally had 200 to 300 prisoners in my possession at all times. No. My real name is Jeffrey Smith. When was the last time I fired my gun at somebody? At the last reenactment last year that I was at. But I never fired somebody, I always aim high.
Are you still fighting wars right now?
No, but I support my government, and if they decide that it's time to go to war, then I support my troops.
How long have you had that equipment?
Approximately 4 years.
Colonel, why don't you take 5 more questions, because they do want to see you ride the horse, and they probably will want a chance to go up and pet the horse, and then we're going to have to keep our schedule going also.
Okay,
We're gonna take 5 more questions.
Were you a volunteer in the war?
What's that?
Were you a volunteer in the war?
No, I was an enlistee. I enlisted. I can't hear you, please.
How long did the war go on?
4 years.
Daniel.
The South fired on Fort Sumter on April the 12th, 1861. Lee surrendered to Grant on April the 9th, 1865. No. Yes, sir. Because we did not agree with a strong central government in Washington, D.C. We did not believe that they had the right to tell us what to do in our own state or in our own county. One more. He's 10. You ready to do some work, Meg? Okay, if you guys will shift over there.
Yeah, but they're closed Monday. I got him in there this morning, and I can pick him up today about 4:30. So he's leaving tomorrow morning. Can I help you move? And grab the carrots. I can take the whole thing for you.
Jeremiah, come over here. There's plenty of room. You can sit. Jeremiah, you'll be right here in the front. You'll be in front. You can see the whole thing.
Everybody's moving out. It's dirty. Can you make it fun?
Go ahead, if you want to bet, if you want to
Can you be
speak, you
quiet
can.
for once?
Oh my. This is Siegel. Oh my.
It's been an animal day today.